I'm Walter Lanners. I was born in 1936 in Emerald Township of Yellow Medicine County. I grew up in the farm. I went to school in St. Leo Parochial School for 8 years, after which I went to Clarkfield High School for 4 years. Married a lady by the name of Diane McMahon, which we have 5 children, 4 girls, 1 boy. Got 11 grandchildren, 8 boys and 3 girls.
My name is Diane Lanners, Diane McMahon Lanners. I married Walter Lanners in November of 1963. We have 5 children, 4 girls and a boy, and 11 grandchildren, 8 boys, 3 girls, the pride of our life. I was born April 24th, 1944, and I was born out on a farm place south of St. Leo.
My hobbies at the present time are playing cards, mostly going to casinos occasionally. Love going fishing if my son-in-law takes me with. I go to church every Sunday. I cannot imagine anybody that don't find an hour to go to church on Sundays.
Reading, embroidering, babysitting. That's a hobby. I have 2 brothers, Richard, who lives in Hendricks, and Jim. My youngest brother passed away 2 years ago. We got into our usual squabbles as kids, and my dad's way of getting the one who had started it, he would punish all 3 of us. That way I'd get the right one. Oh, I think my favorite memories are every Sunday we would pick a place, the whole family would go and we'd go visit our aunts and uncles, or they would say they were coming over to our house and we'd get together with the relatives, which is a good memory.
My memories of my siblings are working together, fighting together. Probably things we did most together was 4-H projects. You know, I had a few scraps with my brothers. I figured I'm bald-headed because Joe pole bowled my hair out.
Well, my dad was a little bit strict, but my mom and I got along really well. And I don't think they had too many restrictions on me. Sometimes they had to have some on the boys when they didn't behave themselves. Worked very hard and they didn't have much to show for it. They just couldn't seem to get ahead. And they worked very, very hard. And milk cows when kids were young, and I'd help my dad milk cows by hand. And helped him with the work out on the farm. Drove tractor. When I was pretty young, he raised the clutch on the tractor so I could drive it. That always was good memories.
Grandpa and Grandma Lanners. They had a big family, which was tough to bring up. If you were good, you were very easy to go on. If you did something wrong, you paid for it. We get to go out whenever we wanted to. We always had to ask Dad for money. He'd probably give you a $10 bill and expected $4 back the next morning. I was probably one of the easier kids until I got to high school. Had a few tough days in high school. I got kicked out of English class one time for, well, not me, a whole bunch of us got kicked out of English class. And I wasn't going to get back into class until my parents come in to talk to the teacher. But needless to say, I didn't tell my parents, so I didn't spend the whole 9 weeks out of English class, so the next report card come out. I got my red F on the report card. The teacher, the principal, I went to the principal's office and asked me why parents weren't coming in. And I said, well, if I tell my parents about this, I said, I live just as close to Canby as I do to Clarkville. I said, I probably won't be coming to school here anymore, I'll be going to Canby. So the folks never did find out about it, and I got back in English class. Went in service April of 1956. There was 5 of us boys. Alfred Lawrence was the first one in service. By the time he got discharged, My brother Alfred went in. Alfred got discharged about the time that Joe went in, about the same time, or Joe probably was in a few months before Alfred got discharged. But so he's always, the oldest boy is always home to help farm. I think Joe was home me probably 3 weeks before I went in, so I asked Joe, I said, geez, I got a chance for you to go Army and Navy. What should I take? And he said, well, good God, go Navy. He says, you won't have to sleep in the foxhole. He says, you have a bed to sleep in anyway. So got on the bus to go. We had to leave Granite Falls, go on the bus to Minneapolis, and we were talking about where we were going to go. And I said, well, I was going to go Navy. There's 2 boys who were Buckle boys from Granite Falls said they wanted to go Navy. And Louis Miller was what he says he wanted to go Navy, and we had Frank Mitchell, and he says there's no way he's going to Navy. He's not going to his own water. So Louis Miller decided, well, he'll be a buddy to Frank Mitchell, and he'll go with Frank to the Army. We got down to Minneapolis, and they said, we need Navy, so many men for Navy, so many for the Army, and whoever wants to go Navy should go this way. And started the Army guys going the other side, and they counted, and they said, we need more Navy men. So they went over and they said, you go Navy. And lucky enough, they picked Louis Miller to go Navy instead of Frank Mitchell. Or Frank would have been dead today. I think he would have died on the spot. 4 of us, me all medicine, went to basic training together then, Great Lake, Illinois. And 9-week basic training, then we got shipped out to different ships. I went to Norfolk, Virginia, and one of the guys from Granite Falls went in the same fleet with me. He went on the aircraft carrier, I went on the destroyer. Seen the whole world. Went to France, went to Holland, went to Italy, with Greece, with South America, Cuba, Canada. South America was the best trip. I think we went, I'm trying to think of the city, Sao Paulo, Chile, I think is the city we was in, which is along the coast down in South America, and it was mountain area, so we, Navy guys never want to stay along the sea. All the ladies, all knew the sailors there, so we had to get out across the mountain inland, so we find the ladies over inland. And so I think 4 of us got ourselves a cabbie and went across the mountain, got the cabbie tickets inland. And we had our fun, got a little buzzed up, and got foggy as the dickens, and we can't go back to the ship, and we get our cabbie to take us back. And there's no way he's going to drive through the mountains in the fog. He's not taking us back. And we tried different cabbies, and nobody would take us back, so we finally decided, well, we got to get back to the ship. So we called them the cabbies, and the guy stuck his finger in the back of him and says, you're taking us back or else. Okay, yeah, he says. He took us back to the ship, but I think it took us how long to drive through that fog that night. We got back to the ship, and we decided, well, we're in trouble already, we might as well not pay the cabbie, so we took off and ran to the ship. Needless to say, the cabbie come to the ship too. We didn't get off ship the rest of the trip down to South America. And we paid the cabbie. Well, the first day you go to SEAL, you're scared you're going to die. The second day, you hope to die, and the third day, you're scared you won't die. So I spent 18 months in the Navy, and they decided there's enough draftees or volunteers for the Navy, so they kicked all the draftees out. So I served 18 months in the Navy and I was discharged.
We met each other at the Blue Moon in Marshall at a wedding dance.
She says she didn't know me before that time, but I knew her long before that time. I guess I couldn't find no other girl that night or something with a amounted to.
Get that on tape. He seemed like he was kind and generous and sweet talking.
Good looking chick. Young.
You asked me to go to a movie. And then we got to St. Leo, you stopped and you ran in the beer joint, and I couldn't figure that out. Then we came to Canby here to the movie, and then you had to reach over and lock the glove compartment, and I thought, what in the world? And then on the way home, he gave me the ring. He had put in the glove compartment. So.
My mother paid for the ring. 400 Wheaties box tops and $20 bill, I think it was.
November 23rd, 1963. The day before, we were making hot dogs for our evening meal at the wedding, and came over TV that John F. Kennedy was shot. So we went to rehearsal. Father Castle asked if we wanted to call the wedding off, but My mom said, not with all that hot dish that's sitting there, we're not calling it off. Went through at the wedding, but we didn't have too many people at our wedding dance.
For some reason, people thought more of Kennedy than they did of me. We went to New England, North Dakota. I had a sister that's a nun who was out there, and she couldn't come to the wedding, so we drove out to see her. So after the wedding dance, which again, you know, dances last until 1 o'clock in the morning, we drove to Watertown to stay overnight then. Must have been all the 2 o'clock or something. We got to Watertown. I had no clue. I'd never been to Watertown in my life. So we got to Watertown, the first motel I spotted, that's where we stayed. It was the biggest dump in town. So then from Watertown we drove out to New England. And New England, there was a country yard a school out in the country, a boarding school. And the students would come in during the week and stay over in the boarding school, and then the weekends the parents would come and take them home. Well, it was weekend we was in there, so sister decided, well, we can just stay in the boarding room, you know. So we got in our board beds, 20, 30 beds in this dorm, you know. So we pulled a couple of beds together so we'd snuggle up, you know. And wasn't more in bed and pretty soon sister walked in with she decided, well, we needed some water basin and water, so she brought us a basin and water in, so we take a bath in the morning. So that was an exciting night. After we got home from our honeymoon, we lived with my folks for, I don't know,
8 months.
8 months. Bought a farm by the Green Door Supper Club, which was an absolute dump. And no running water, no toilet, no bathrooms.
No house to speak of.
Yeah. So anyway, our first 3 kids were born there. Diane wouldn't let them go up the upstairs for the fear that the steps would break down or something. So we had an oil burner for fuel, for the heat. So we had the bunk beds in the corner of the living room for, I suppose 2 of the kids slept in it, and the baby slept in the crib. And then that was,
when Julie got out of the crib, then we went to a couch that opened up into a bed, and then the 3 of them slept on there.
I bought that farm for $175 an acre. It was 160 acres. We were in bed one night in the old house, you know, or something, and I don't know what's going on, but I felt something was going across me, you know. I thought Diane was running her hands across me or something. And it quit for a while. Pretty soon there's something going across, so I decided, well, I'm going to grab it, you know. So I felt this coming across, and I grabbed it, and I had a mouse in my hand. Needless to say, I threw it against the wall, and he didn't run no more.
Well, okay. I remember Brenda Dad said she liked to dance. I don't remember that too well, but she liked to dance all the time. And the only thing I remember is we had quite a long driveway, and I'd take her down the driveway to go to school. And when I thought I had her at the school bus, I turned around, she was halfway home. She didn't like school. And Nancy was always the quiet one. I don't know if she caused trouble for the other ones in her quietness, but she was always quiet and shy. Julie was the sociable one. She liked to talk to everybody. And Kevin thought his sisters always picked on him, so he was going to run away from home one day. Until his mother told him, he came down the steps with some clothes in a plastic bag, and I asked him what he was doing. He said, running away. And I said, then go back upstairs, take those clothes up. When I first saw you, you were naked, so that's the way you're leaving. And he decided he was going to stay home.
Well, I remember Kevin pulled him out and go and cultivate a field of corn one day. He got the whole field of corn cultivated, and I went out and checked that night, and I discovered he was 1 row off all day. He started the first round down the field, 1 row off, and cultivated the whole field corn that way. But anyway, I took Kevin out, and I told him, I said, geez, you got to cultivate the same rows of corn, you know, where the planter was or something. And he looked at that, and he said, well, I'm never going to be a farmer. So I think that's when you decided you're never going to be a farmer.
And Tammy came 8 years later, so we had a
Built-in babysitters.
built-in babysitters, and we had start of a new family, and kept us young. We could go to games, and
Well, I don't know if we put a favorite in there, but we got one spoiled one.
I would say they were well behaved. They
And
had some squabbling, but
they were good kids, so can't say anything wrong.
okay, we have Amanda, and she is a pharmacist now. And David is soon to be an RN. Ben is a mechanic, and he lives closer to us now. Amanda's in Albert Lee. What did I say? Brandon is in high school, so we get to go see his games when we can. And we have Grace. Grace and James in Fargo. We get up there once in a while to see their games too, which all those are fun. And then we have Will, who likes Taekwondo, and we got to see him perform once, maybe twice. Let's see, then we got Owen, Henry, Leo, and Olive, and they just keep us entertained with their smiles and their fun and coming to stay here, and the sugar cookies. And actually, your grandkids are a lot of fun, and I'm proud of every one of them.
Piece of my advice for my kids is stay out of trouble and pay your bills.
And my advice to my children would be to always keep the Lord as the main person in your life, and always stick together. That's very important. And pray often.
Well, I hope my grandkids remember me as always being funny.
And I hope they remember me as somebody that was always happy to see them.
My most proud things in their life is my kids and my grandkids. None of them got in no serious trouble. None of them caused me no gray hair. And they all seem to be making a good living. So what else could I ask for?
I can't remember when you weren't there, when I didn't care for anyone but you. And I swear we've been through everything there is. Can't imagine anything we've missed. Can't imagine anything the two of us can do. Through the years, you've never let me down. You've turned my life around. The sweetest days I've found with you. Through the years, I've never been afraid. I've loved the life we made, and I'm so glad I stayed right here with you through the years. I can't remember what I used to do, who I trusted, who I listened to before. I swear you taught me everything I know. Can't imagine needing someone so. Through the years it seems to me I need you more and more.